Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
He needs care and treatment.
You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Is this a great country or what?
Locking down the middle of the day, live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in. Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Monday. Means we're brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Hope your work week's off to a good start. Appreciate you hanging out with us here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Jordan Kitchens, Cassius Pizzali back there on the ones and twos. I have returned from Starkville, Mississippi. Did our show there on Friday. Was there for all three games, and LSU didn't win any of them. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on. The Saints have their draft in the rearview mirror. We'll get into some of that. I've got thoughts on LSU's young baseball players as well as LSU's football players in the NFL draft. We'll do a little bit of that as well. So lots and lots to get to on this Monday. Let's crank it up the way we do every day with our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive, presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
NFL draft has come and gone on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. New Orleans made 8 selections and a trade over the weekend to start to put together that roster for 2026. As I've said many times, I am here to analyze the plan, not the players. That's the lane I prefer to stay in. I think that it suits me a little bit more. It's more to my strengths, and I'm just not here to tell you about hand placement on the 3-tech and the hips of the corner and all that kind of stuff. I'll leave that to Mel Kiper and the crew at ESPN. I am, though, going to speak to the plan. And first and foremost, I thought that Mickey Loomis's propensity to trade up was alarming at times. He did not do that last year. He did not do that this year. And he mentioned that kind of jokingly in his press conference after the draft was over. He stayed put, and he made his picks. And I think that's the way that he should be operating based on the state of the organization currently. On Friday, we talked about the Saints' selection of Jordan Tyson, and I gave it high marks. I think it's possible that you've got your number one receiver. I think it's possible that you've got a dynamic, explosive playmaker. And I think that the plan to go take a potential number one wide receiver in that spot is a very, very good one. And so now you move into the second and third days, and you look at what the Saints were attempting to do. We thought confidently that they would go defense in round 2. There was not a glaring offensive need in round 2. There are defensive needs. You're looking out at corner where you don't really know what you have. You don't feel like you have a number one. That was an option. At linebacker, you've lost your heart and soul into Demario Davis. Yes, you have gone out to replace him with Caden Ellis, but could you go linebacker in that spot? Sure. Safety's a spot where we had considered some things, and edge rusher was where we thought they would probably go at that spot. It turns out they did go on the defensive front, but it was inside at tackle with Kristen Miller. And I like this plan as well. It's not something we talked about entering the draft, but when you consider that Nation Shepherd and Devon Gottschall are in the final seasons of their contracts, when you consider that New Orleans last year struggled at times against the run, that's a weakness of Brian Brzee. You do need to shore up that spot and get better at the point of attack in stopping the run. And so going to Athens, Georgia and getting Kristen Miller, I think makes a lot of sense. We'll see how good he is. We'll see whether or not he's a rotational piece or is plugged in immediately, but I understand that play. I think that I understand where they were going there. It's in round 3 where I diverge a little bit from Mickey Loomis's and Jeff Ireland's plan here. Oscar Delp was a little used tight end in the passing game at Georgia. He was in line 84% of the time. He only made 20 catches on the season. Over 4 years, 70 catches. Now, that doesn't mean he can't go out there and catch. It just means he didn't do a lot of it. Now, I get it. Like, Foster Moreau has moved on. Taysom Hill has moved on. But you do have Noah Fant, who you signed. You do have Juwan Johnson. It's not a glaring need, and I feel like there are other places on the roster you could have gone at tight end. Delp may turn out to be a really good player, and Kellen Moore might have a great vision for him. I thought that was an odd selection based on position at that point in the draft. You are in far greater need of edge rushers, of corners, than you are at tight end, I think. So we'll see if Delp is an upgrade. You took a tight end in the 7th round last year as well. I thought that was a curious selection for New Orleans. Now, we knew that the Saints were not going to go through this draft without selecting an offensive lineman. So in round 4, they go get Jeremiah Wright from Auburn. I'm perfectly fine with this. You have got to build depth on the offensive front, and the Saints go get Jeremiah Wright from Auburn. He is huge. He is athletic. He started his career at Auburn on the defensive side of the ball, became an offensive guard, played very well there. He's an older player at 25 years old, but he's been a 2-year starter at Auburn, and the Saints got a really good look at him in the Senior Bowl. I'm perfectly fine with that selection at number 4, Jeremiah Wright, adding depth to that offensive line. And then we figured, and I said this on Friday, I felt pretty confident in this as well, that they were going to continue to add at wide receiver. And they did that in the later rounds. Bryce Lance is a big body, big frame. Of course, Trey Lance's younger brother, same college at North Dakota State. You add him to the fold with Devon Vele as kind of the rangier, bigger targets, and you feel like you're going to have a little bit of depth at that spot. I thought that was a perfectly reasonable selection there. I love the traits of Lorenzo Styles in the 5th round, namely the speed. You can't coach that. Guy runs 4.27. That's going to steal some headlines. The bloodline is pretty good. His younger brother, Sonny, is quite a player. And so you look at a guy that played in the nickel, that can play the nickel for you there. He's listed as safety, but you get help at corner, which is something that you needed. You get help in the secondary, something that you needed. I think that's a perfectly reasonable pick, and a guy that's got some traits that are excellent, so I liked that. Barryon Brown, we know very well here at LSU. That's the Rashid Shaheed role. That's a guy who can help you in the return game. He's second in NCAA history in kickoff return touchdowns with 6. That is first in the history of the Southeastern Conference. We've seen it. The playmaking ability is there. I've probably gotten a better look at him than most of the Saints fans that are out there watching because I've seen him practice a good bit. He is a really good player. The offense this past year at LSU was atrocious. His offenses at Kentucky were largely terrible. I don't think Barryon Brown's true skill set has been unlocked yet because the offenses he's played in at the college level have been bad. Kentucky's offense has been bad. LSU's offense last year was bad. He is really fast. He can help you on special teams. He can make the big plays down the field. I think he's shown himself to be a pretty complete wide receiver in the practices that I've seen. I like that pick at round 6. It's a really good skill set, and you're just adding weapons to the wide receiver room. And then something they absolutely had to do, they did it to a degree with Styles, but they had to go get another corner. And in the 7th round, you're taking flyers. 7th rounders don't make rosters all that often, but you go get TJ Hall with a pick you acquired in that Tyree Wilson trade, and you get a guy that led the Big Ten with 13 pass breakups. So that's not nothing. That's a guy who has played at high level, that has made plays, that has showed a nose for the ball. Again, it's an uphill battle to make the roster as a 7th round pick, but they had to go get a corner. So I like that. So if you take all that together and bundle it into a nice clean package, I thought it was good. I thought the Saints did a good job. I would have gone with an edge rusher at some point. They did not. I would not have gone tight end in the 3rd round. I would have gone corner or edge rusher. They did not. I don't think it was perfect by my estimation, but I do understand a lot of where the Saints were coming from. And I said this at the start of the draft, before Thursday, before they got on the clock on Thursday. You needed to get 3 starters out of this draft. 3. Last year, I put that number at 4. I think you're well on your way. You certainly have one in Shuck. I think you've got one in Quincy Riley. I think you've got one in Jonas Sanker. I think, obviously, you look at Banks in the 1st round. Like, you potentially have one in Stutzman. Like, you may have more than 4, but you feel like you've got 4 from that team. You needed a game changer in this draft, and I think you get that in Tyson. You could have gotten it on the edge. You could have gotten it at wide receiver, or a number 1 corner. But that changes things. Like, it's an impactful spot on the field, and then I need a couple more guys to come in and be a starter. You feel like Tyson is going to be in your first offense. You feel like Kristen Miller is going to fit in, maybe not in year 1 when you've got Godshaw under contract, when you've got Shepard under contract, when you've got Brzee there. Maybe he's 1 year away, but okay, in year 2, you feel like he's a starter. And then you've got a grab bag at the back end that potentially could help. Can Jeremiah Wright win the job at right guard? Maybe. Maybe in a year's time. Can Bryce Lance become a big frame opposite Tyson, opposite Olave, helping Vele? Maybe. Can Styles become your nickel? Maybe. That would be great if he is. Can Barryon Brown become a fourth wide receiver and special teams player? That's a necessary spot to fill. There are questions there, and not all of these are going to work out. You look at drafts over time, never do you hit on every pick in the draft. That's an impossibility. But I'm asking for 3, and I think that the Saints' idea here was pretty good. I'm disappointed you don't have anybody off the edge. I think that's a weakness at this point. But you do have those guys on the roster with complete blank on both names. Chase Young and Carl Granderson. Like, just completely out of nowhere, couldn't come up with the names. But you got those 2 guys, and you can still bring Cam Jordan back if you can agree to terms. But I wish you would have gotten somebody younger at that spot. They did not. They were not able to do that. But I think it was good, and I think it's encouraging, and I think that Mickey made a nice joke when he sat down to start the press conference and say, well, I drafted an LSU guy and I didn't trade up. So y'all can't ask any questions. It shows, 1, that he hears us, and 2, that he thought better of those decisions in the past. And I like the fact that he made the picks. I think it was a good job. What do you think, Jordan?
I'm fired up. I'm fired up simply because, 1, Mickey Loomis, gotta give him his credit, man. I know. That's why it hurts my heart to say that. I know, hurts my heart to say that, but I gotta give Mickey Loomis credit where it's due. He has not traded up. He has not done anything foolish or idiotic where we're sitting there like, Mickey, what are you doing, Mickey? Stop trading up. Trevor Penning, all this. No, he's not done that. Yes, I wasn't too ecstatic about the Jordan Tyson move, but as time has gone on, I love it now, especially with you double back in Bryce Lance. So now we're not sitting here like we were in Week 18 with whoever these Randy Scrandies, Ronnie Bell. Yeah.
I was listening to the radio on one of those games coming home from church.
Yes.
And I think Bell made a catch, and
Ronnie Bell.
I covered that. I never heard of that person.
Never.
I'd never heard of him. I never heard of that.
Matter of fact, Hunt, they just cut a guy today, 2-roll, the receiver. Yeah, see it, pack your bags, brother. We just got Bryce Lance and Jordan Tyson in here. So, go ahead and just get up out of here. So I really do appreciate Mickey addressing these things. And the sneaky pick, I know the Delp one was a little weird, but this Christian Miller guy.
Yeah.
Georgia, and the fact that Kellen Moore, he had a cup of tea in Philly. He won the Super Bowl. Had a cup of tea in Philly, and just grabbing that, extracting that, bringing it down here. Let's invest in Georgia down here.
Philly takes the Georgia Bulldogs. The Saints take Ohio State Buckeyes. And
Literally.
Look, it's worked out for both of them. Those are 2 good trees to pick off of.
Easily.
So there you go. We'll see. There's 2 of them from Georgia there with Delp and Christian Miller. All right, that's a look at the Saints draft. We'll talk a little bit more about the Saints as we move forward in the show today. But now it's time for us to take a time out, come back, talk some LSU baseball. I was in Starkville over the weekend. What did I see? Who did I talk to? We'll do that coming up next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com. HighlandIG.com is that website. Look, if you are a business owner and you're struggling with your benefits, whether they're not good enough or they're too expensive, Jonathan Carver and his team at the Highland Insurance Group are happy to help you. That's your health care, your vision, your dental, all those benefits that go into helping recruit talent into your organization and keep that talent in your organization. If you've gotten a renewal that's ugly, or you feel like the next renewal might be ugly, or you feel like people are leaving because they're not comfortable with the benefits you're offering, let the Highland Insurance Group take a look. They are happy to go ahead and give you a second opinion and perhaps a second option on your group and employee benefits. Jonathan Carbo and his team are right here in Baton Rouge. They can help you out statewide. They're online at HighlandIG.com. It's the Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com.
At Parrish, we're built for tough players and tough roofs.
Coach is tough on us about preparation, and Parrish brings that same championship mindset.
Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Bayou Ford has the new 25 Ford F-150 Lariat truck with $12,000 off MSRP, plus the 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me? Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here. Helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel?
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Shout out to Gotro's Outdoor Power. Gotro's Outdoor Power. Drove by a lot of grass in rural Mississippi over the weekend. There's a lot of grass in the greater Starkville area. If you've got a lot of grass and you need to get it cut, Gotro's Outdoor Power, happy to help you get behind the wheel of one of their new zero-turn mowers. They can get you behind the wheel of one for $100 a month. Financing option is available at Gotro's Outdoor Power. They've got 2 locations, one in Baton Rouge on Airline Highway. You can't miss it. You drive by, you see a mountain of orange machinery. That's Gotro's Outdoor Power. They've also got a location in Gonzales as well. The largest Hustler dealer in the state by far. Largest parts inventory in the state as well. The customer service you're going to get from the Gotro family is second to none. That's what separates them. You can buy a zero-turn from the big box store. You absolutely can. But what happens after you buy it? Do you get that customer service, that delivery? I don't think you do. You do at Gotro's Outdoor Power. Check them out. One of their locations, Airline Highway in Baton Rouge and in Gonzales. Gotro's Outdoor Power. All right, I spent the weekend in Starkville, Mississippi. I'll give you some of my thoughts on the town and the ballpark a little bit later on in the hour, but we'll talk baseball here as LSU swept for the 3rd consecutive weekend. I don't believe that has happened in the history of LSU baseball. I'm not willing to rubber stamp that. We've had a lot of people doing some research, and you get back a long ways. I don't believe LSU has lost 9 straight league games ever. And it's just shocking to see that LSU has gotten to this point. I thought there was a turning point in all 3 games over the weekend, and LSU just couldn't reverse things after that. Of course, LSU got up to a 3-0 lead in all 3 games in the first inning. 3-0 in the first inning of all 3 games. LSU scored 8 runs in all 3 games, and it wasn't enough in Starkville to win a single game. Now, on Friday, it looked like LSU was going to win the game. Leadoff man gets on in an 8-7 game, and then you get a ground ball to Jack Ruckert at second. And Ruckert fields it cleanly, pivots, makes a throw on the money. Milam catches it on the bag, fires across, double play, 2 out, nobody on, 1-run game. That's what you're looking at. Instead, State reviews it, and Milam's cleat is 1 inch, half an inch off second base, and State is awarded the bag. And then you got an out, and then they get the hit. Now, LSU has made its fair share of mistakes this year, far more than you would care to watch. Wild pitches, errors, poor offensive execution, not getting a bunt down, striking out with a runner on third and less than 2 outs, poor starting pitching, poor relief. Like, they have made plenty of bad plays. This was not one of them. Ruckert fielded the ball, made a good throw to second. Milam catches it. You're dealing with milliseconds around the bag. And he just was off by nothing, a whisker. It's just bad luck. That's what's happening to this team. It's just bad luck. You can say, well, he's be on the base. And, I get it. I understand. But shortstops have been turning double plays like this for a century. You wipe through the bag, you make the catch, you fire on the first, and until now, we slow things down with replay. You just got burned on an unfortunate circumstance. Then they hit a ground ball. They're at the bottom of their order. The 8-hole, the shortstop, hits a ground ball to the left side with the runner on second and 2 outs. Here's what I believe happened. I didn't get a chance to talk to Steven after the games. We spoke with Eddie Yaman on Saturday. We spoke with Omar Cerna yesterday. I have not spoken with Steven, so I can't confirm this, but it's what I saw from the press box. Milam moves to his right to try to stop this ground ball in the 9th inning. And I believe instead of trying to backhand it, which is what he would try to do if he was going to try to throw the guy out at first base, which I don't think he could have done. The ball was just hit too deep in the hole. Instead of trying to backhand it, in his mind, he thought the most important thing is to keep this ball on the infield so the runner doesn't score from second base. I'm going to try to get my body in front of it. And in trying to circle around it and get his body in front of it, he didn't use his hands to play the baseball, and he didn't get there, and it skipped off his hip into the outfield. It was a reasonable fundamental play to try to get there, but I think if Milam just plays it to his backhand side, he probably picks it, and he probably gloves it. He doesn't get an out, but the run doesn't score. And turns out the run did score, and then, of course, State walks it off with a 2-run homer by the 9-hole who was hitting a $180 in the rain on Friday night. So the game changes on that play at second base in the 9th inning, just brutal. Now, on Saturday, the pendulum swung in the 7th inning, obviously. Jay Johnson played matchups. You had a lead, and you go to Ethan Plog to try to get a switch hitter in Garrick Fry and then lefty Ace Reese. Well, Plog comes in, and he gives up 2 hits. Not great. And then Benj comes in, and he gave up a hit against the right-hander Sullivan. And then he walked Beavis. And so you've walked a run in, you got the bases loaded, you had a 5-run lead, it's now teetering, and you go to Cooper Williams, the left-hander, against a freshman left-handed bat in Jacob Parker, and Cooper immediately falls down 2-0 and then goes to a curveball, and he left it right down the middle. I mean, center cut above the belt, 2-0 breaking ball. You can't throw a more hittable pitch. And Parker didn't miss it. He just belted a grand slam, and that place about came unhinged on Saturday. It was the 3rd largest crowd in the history of Mississippi State baseball, 3rd largest on-campus crowd in the history of college baseball, and they were busting at the seams in that place and ready to go berserk, and Parker delivered the shot. And there's just no shot that LSU was going to come back after that. It was cooked at that point. Jay Johnson played matchups in that inning. He had to go to his bullpen all weekend because he didn't have any starting pitching. He played matchups, and none of them worked. Mississippi State just hit their way through it. And there's only one walk in that inning. That's the stuff that drives me nuts. Walks, wild pitches, and errors. You threw the ball over the plate, and Mississippi State hit it. And that happens, but that was obviously the turning point. And then Sunday, I thought the game-changing play was the comebacker to Devin Sheeran in the 6th inning. LSU had a 3-run lead. You'd gotten the big home runs, and you had a 3-run lead. And you had a runner on first base, and Garrick Fry was up, and he was facing Sheeran, and he hit a ground ball back to the mound. And when he hit the ball on the ground, I saw it off the bat, and I went, that's a double play. And it would have been a double play if 2 things had happened, either of them. If Sheeran catches the ball on the comebacker, he starts a double play to second base. You got to make it, and I realize that's not automatic, but it was hit hard enough, and you have Milam at second base, who's a great player. You're going to probably get a double play out of that. If Sheeran just doesn't touch the ball, LSU's infielders were pinched up the middle, they're going to pick that ball up, it's going to be a double play. So if Sheeran fields it cleanly or just lets it go, it's a double play. Instead, Sheeran deflects it towards first base, picks it up, thinks to underhand it, then goes, if I underhand it, it's not going to be in time. So then he tries to throw it real quick overhand and fires it down into the bullpen and 2-run score. I mean, that's a play that's just backbreaking. Because if you get the double play there, you've got a chance to get out of the inning with no run scored, and now you're going to the 7th with a 3-run lead. Instead, 2 runs are already in, you got another runner in scoring position, Sheeran didn't really have his good stuff, and State completely takes control of the game. They scored 4 in that inning. They ended up scoring 8 unanswered, and they end up taking it from you. And those are the 3 plays I thought that changed the game. Now, we can't speak about this weekend really without going into the detail about LSU's pitching. You've got Cooper Moore out for the year, so you're already shorthanded in game 3s. And then you scratch Casey Evans an hour before the game on Friday, so you're going with the bullpen game in that one. So you got a bullpen. You got 1 starter left in William Schmidt. And William Schmidt gave you 4 innings, which is kind of what he's been doing. He's just not getting deep into games. So he gave you 4 innings. That meant that you were asking your bullpen for 23 innings, 11 on Friday, 4 on Saturday, 8 on Sunday. 23 innings of bullpen work is just not a tenable way for this team to win a game. It's just not. I thought it was the right move by Jay Johnson to go to your A relievers in Friday's game. You had a lead. They were rested and ready to go. You hadn't won a game since Easter, literally in the league. Like, I'm okay with going to your A guys, but you threw 3 of them for 40-plus pitches, and you understand that those guys are cooked. So now, not only are you asking your bullpen for a lot of bullets on Saturday and Sunday, you've burned your best guys on Friday. And the depth on this pitching staff just isn't awesome. And Mississippi State just crushed the ball all weekend. They hit a ton of home runs. They hit a lot of doubles. They hit the ball hard routinely. You did issue a bunch of free passes, 10 of them on Sunday, 7 walks, 3 hit batsmen. And then on Sunday, you allowed 7 of the 8 leadoff hitters to reach base, and only 1 of those, a home run, was a hit. The other 6 times, you allowed a leadoff base runner without a hit. Catcher's interference, walks, hit batsmen, just charity hour out there for a lot of that game. And you're just not going to win baseball games doing that. There are significant issues all over the place with this baseball team. And the injuries that have compounded those have just made this a disastrous season. I'm going to do a segment at some point about what I got wrong and what a lot of people got wrong. Because, like, I do take it relatively seriously that I was so high on this team, having watched them, and they're going to come out with one of the worst records in LSU history in league play. Like, I've got to speak to that at some point. It's not today, but I got to speak to it at some point. But it was all on display on Saturday and Sunday in Starkville. The shoddy defense, the lack of bullpen consistency, the inability to close games. They came out swinging. They're fighting. I have a story up on LouisianaSports.net right now with quotes from Omar Cerna and Eddie Yaman talking about how hard they're working, how good their energy is. They're bringing the fight. They hit home runs. They scored. They got to 8 every single game against a talented pitching staff. But they can't put it all together. In Oxford, your pitching staff could not get Ole Miss out. Last week, you were unable to do anything offensively against a mediocre pitching staff at Texas A&M. And this week, your hitting showed up and your pitching went in the tank. It's just it's a game of whack-a-mole every single weekend, and LSU can't whack them all. So it's a disappointing time for LSU for sure, and essentially all of your postseason hopes are about off the table. You'd have to do something miraculous at this point to get back, and nobody's going to project that to happen. So very, very disappointing for LSU over the weekend. A lot of different reasons for it, but ultimately it's an 0-3 weekend. So we'll talk a little bit more about that trip and about what I saw and my impressions of Duty Noble Field when we come back to end the hour. For now, let's transition back to the NFL draft, back to LSU, and what happened to the Tigers that are headed to the professional ranks. We'll do that when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
There are a lot of options over at Oxygen. They want to make sure that you understand what those options are. So visit their symptom checker online at oxygen.org/findcare. If you're looking for primary care, that's your comprehensive and continuous care. That's your chronic disease management like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high blood sugar. your immunizations, mild to moderate stomach aches, things like that. And you can do virtual visits. They've got that available online. You can also schedule your primary care appointment at www.ochsner.org/brprimary. If things are a little bit more urgent care is your option for common illnesses and minor injuries like urinary pain, coughs, lacerations, sprains, minor burns, things like that. Walk-ins are very much welcome, and they've got extended hours. So you can find a location at ochsner.org/urgent care. And if you've got severe life-threatening situation, you need to call the ER. Go to the ER, call 911. Severe chest pain, severe bleeding, severe head trauma, sudden vision loss, all need you to be in the emergency room as quickly as possible. You can schedule your primary care visits online through MyOchsner. You can also download the MyOchsner app. You can call Ochsner on Call at 1-800-231-5257. That's 1-800-231-5257. That's my friends at Ochsner.
Every Raising Cane's chicken finger is marinated, battered by hand, and cooked to order to perfection. We don't have heat lamps, because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new 25 Jeep Grand Cherokee with $15,000 off MSRP.
Plus the 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Our Monday shows are brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. They're online at GuaranteeHealth.com, GuaranteeHealth.com. Now, Rachel Fricke started Guarantee Health Solutions based on a personal experience. Her mother was diagnosed with cancer back in 2009, and Rachel was kind of there every step of the way. And along the way, she realized just how impersonal and transactional the healthcare system can be. And so she set out to change that. She's got a background in hospitality with hotels and has brought that into the healthcare space to make the patient journey more personal, more enjoyable, because it can be transactional and impersonal. And so that's what they do at Guarantee Health Solutions. If you're in the healthcare space, whether you're an urgent care, whether you're dental practice, a hospital, private clinic, and you have not given some thought to the patient journey, one from going to your website and how functional that is, to your branding, to the experience of the patient when he or she comes into the waiting room and deals with the front desk, all of those things. If you haven't considered how to get folks back in for follow-ups, these are all things that Guarantee Health Solutions can help you with. They can help you build a website. They can help you with marketing and SEO, and they can help you with traditional advertising methods, and they can come in and train your staff to make sure that the patient journey is a positive one within your healthcare organization. Check them out online at guaranteehealth.com. They're moving healthcare forward. Guarantee Health Solutions. All right, LSU in the NFL draft over the weekend. Of course, that got started with the pick of Mansour Delane by the Kansas City Chiefs in the first round. The Chiefs traded up to go get Mansour, and we thought that was a really good thing for him. Kind of spoke to his ability and how much the Chiefs think of him. But he was not the only Tiger that was selected over the weekend. 4 more came on Saturday in rounds 4 through 7. Bauer Sharp, Barryon Brown, and Harold Perkins all went in the 6th round. Garrett Nussmeier went in the 7th round to Kansas City. Back on Friday, A.J. Halsey went in the 3rd round, and Xavion Thomas went in the 3rd round as well. So I want to talk about these individually beyond Mansour Delane, who we spoke about back on Friday. I think Halsey is a great player, and I think the Colts got a stud in this spot in the 3rd round. I loved A.J. Halsey on paper when he came to LSU. I was like, look at this kid. He goes to New Mexico as a freshman. Like, nobody really wanted him. He goes to New Mexico, makes 24 tackles in a single game, comes back to Houston, so takes one step up, becomes the Big 12 Newcomer of the Year on defense, massively productive in both tackles and interceptions. And he did that for 2 years at Houston, where he was an all-league player. And then he comes to LSU and is an all-league player in the SEC as well. So every step of the way, he upped his game and maintained a level of production. And I think he'll do that in the NFL. And I say that I loved him on paper when I saw him, and then I go out to practice first day, and you see A.J. Halsey, who was not at LSU for the spring. He was a late addition to that second portal window, and you go, oh, like this dude is physical presence as well. I would be stunned if A.J. Halsey does not make the team in Indianapolis, and I think he's got a chance to be starting player at safety. I think that much of him, and the Colts did too, taking him in the 3rd round. Xavion Thomas, bit of a surprise to me. We saw some mock drafts that had Xavion Thomas in the 6th and 7th round, and that makes some sense, but you understand what the Bears are thinking here. The Bears are thinking about a guy that ran a blazing time in the 40 and can do so much. I mean, you saw Xavion Thomas at LSU do so many things. You saw him as a kick returner, return one for a touchdown. You saw him as a punt returner. You saw him as a slot receiver. You saw him as a guy they'd get the ball to on jet sweeps. You saw him as a guy they lined up at tailback and handed him the football, trying to find a way to get the ball in his hands. And we spoke to Xavion about that on multiple occasions when they brought him out for interviews, about like what he likes to do on a football field. And he just likes to make plays, likes to get out in the open, likes to do things all over the field. And he can do that. And the Bears will allow him to do a lot of different things within their lineup. There is not a more creative play caller in the NFL than Ben Johnson. And he gets a player here in the 3rd round who knows how to do a lot of different things and that you can be creative with. And he's got the speed to make teams pay for it. So I thought that was a great fit based on the coach and play caller as well as the skill set for Xavion Thomas. Bauer Sharp was a surprise pick to me. This is a guy that's got an interesting tool set because he was a quarterback at the college level and then shifted to tight end. And you look at him as a guy that didn't make a lot of plays at Oklahoma or LSU. But as I was saying when we were talking about the Saints picks a little bit earlier, I also am not going to hold it against Bauer Sharp that Oklahoma had the worst offense in the SEC 2 years ago and LSU had the worst offense in the SEC this year. He played for the worst 2 offenses in the SEC. I can't completely fault him for lack of production. He runs pretty well. He's got really good size. He's got an understanding of offenses, having been a quarterback. He's played in the Southeastern Conference. I get it. I was just a little bit surprised that he was the guy that went off the board before Barryon Brown, before Harold Perkins, before Garrett Nussmeier, before Aaron Anderson. Bauer Sharp going was interesting to me. Now, the Saints got Barryon Brown. I talked about that a little bit earlier. He clearly fits into the Rashid Shaheed role for them, so that's exciting for LSU and Saints fans because that doesn't happen very often. Saints have not been in the business of taking a lot of LSU guys. Certainly Will Clapp comes to mind, but haven't done it a lot, and so they go to Barryon Brown. That's a great thing. Harold Perkins, unfortunately for Saints fans, goes to the Atlanta Falcons in the 6th round. Thought he gave an interesting quote on Saturday. Said, "Yeah, I grew up a Saints fan, but I'm not a Saints fan no more." And that's okay. Other teams cutting the checks now, so that's how it goes. But he goes to Atlanta. They just got to figure out how to use him, right? That's the key. Like, how do you use Harold Perkins? The Falcons have to figure that out. We've talked about it ad nauseum for 4 years in Baton Rouge. Harold Perkins cannot just line up on the defensive end and rush up the field. Like, that's not a doable position for him at 6'1" and 220 pounds. NFL offensive tackles will eat his lunch, especially on the ground. So he's got to incorporate pass rush into his game while being a off-the-ball linebacker, while being an outside backer. He's got to run in space. He's got to chase down ball carriers. He's got to do some covering. And you've got to find a way to unlock his pass rush ability as well. That's the chore for Atlanta at this point. Now, Nussmeier, I was pretty stunned to see how far he slid. Teams, generally speaking, will reach on quarterbacks at some point. But they drafted 8 quarterbacks before Garrett Nussmeier came off the board. You got Rutgers quarterback going before Nussmeier. And so it's pretty evident, although you're not going to get this confirmed, it's pretty evident that a number of NFL teams took Garrett Nussmeier off of their board because of the injury history. It's not only the cyst, but also that tendonitis in his knee that Brian Kelly talked about. There are multiple issues, and one of them is recurring. Like, the tendonitis is just there. And so a lot of teams just scratched him off the board. But if you look at landing spots, this is a pretty good one for Garrett Nussmeier. He's a very smart player that grew up in a football house, and you're talking about an organization with Andy Reid at the top and Patrick Mahomes at quarterback that is among the best in the NFL on offense. This is a good spot for him. He comes in, make the roster, compete. You're not going to start, obviously, but you've got a chance to get some seasoning in one of the most advanced quarterback rooms in the NFL. Everybody's journey is a little bit different. And for some people, you got to go out there and play in week 1. You're the starter. Sometimes, like the Saints with Tyler Shuck, you get to sit for half a year. And sometimes you sit for a while. And Garrett Nussmeier is probably going to sit for a little bit unless the Chiefs move on from him because Mahomes didn't go anywhere, and that's the starter. So I think this is a positive for Garrett. I'm glad he was drafted. I think that's a good thing. There's the notion that you'd rather pick your destination. I think it's cool to be drafted. And there's not going to be a lot of pressure on him at that spot. So I think it's a good thing. There's been a lot of pressure on Garrett Nussmeier for 2 years. A lot. You had a bad offense this past year, and you were hurt. The year prior to that, you had no running game. And there's just been a lot asked of him. And so now he gets to go into a place where mentally not much is being asked of you. You're not the savior of the franchise. You're not the most impactful player on the roster. So it's disappointing for Garrett that he slid from what we thought was a first-round pick at one point, now all the way down to the 7th round. But on the other hand, it may be a comfy landing spot for him. So I think that's a quality thing. I was pretty surprised that Aaron Anderson did not get drafted. I know the injury history is significant with him, but he's incredibly explosive and really productive when he was on the field for the last year and a half. I thought that someone would reach out and grab him. I was hopeful that maybe Chris Hilton could find a spot late in the draft because of that speed, but that didn't necessarily materialize. And you look at this team that LSU had, and I'll talk about this in hour number 2, but maybe not as much talent as we thought. I mean, you didn't have a lot of high draft choices. The third guy off the board was a tight end you didn't really use. So it's a deal where we thought a lot about this team in August. The NFL did not think a ton of this team when you rolled things back around in April. Kind of is what it is. All right, when we come back, I want to tell you about Dudy Noble Field. I want to tell you about Starkville, Mississippi. I had not been since 2013. I'll give you my impressions of what I saw off the field in Starkville, Mississippi. We'll do that when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust. FABT.com. FABT.com. Bank local. This is a locally owned and operated bank that's been in Southeast Louisiana for 116 years. They've grown to 25 locations. The folks that make the decisions on your commercial loan, local. Folks that make the decision on your home loan, local. You know them. You see them. Your kids are in school together. It's not a call center in Atlanta. Nobody in Seattle is looking over your file. It's local here in Southeast Louisiana. 25 locations means they've got the resources to help you. So if you're looking for commercial lending, First American Bank and Trust needs to be your first option. First American Bank and Trust, FABT.com.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new 25 Jeep Grand Cherokee with $15,000 off MSRP.
Plus the 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades. But our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
One Bath and Closets. Check them out online, onebathandclosets.com. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. The tub-to-shower conversion can be quick. It can be painless. When you hear renovation, remodel, you may think big, big projects. A lot of time, a lot of dollars, very invasive. That's not necessarily the case. If you've got a bathtub that doesn't function properly, you've got a bathtub that's old and dingy, you've got a bathtub that you don't use, get rid of it. It's taking up space, and there's a lot of space there. You could use it for a gorgeous glass walk-in shower. Changes the aesthetic of your bathroom, changes the functionality of your bathroom, adds value to your home. Let David and his team come in and do it. I've asked him, how long does that take? He said, well, it depends on the scope of the work, obviously, but generally speaking, a tub-to-shower conversion can be done in 3 to 5 days. That's a week, just 1 week. Let David and his team come in and do that. Reshape your bathroom. You can check them out online at onebathandclosets.com. That's where you can get that free consultation, see reviews of their great work, see pictures of their great work. It's One Bath and Closets. Find them online, onebathandclosets.com. All right, spent the weekend in Starkville. As I told y'all, I have not been to Starkville for a baseball weekend since 2013. Aaron Nola was LSU's Friday night starter that year. Hunter Renfroe was there for Mississippi State. It was a really good series. Mason Katz hit 3 home runs. Kendall Graveman threw at his head. LSU won 2 out of 3. It was the SEC opener that year. And that's the last time I had been there. And I really enjoyed it. I thought that the dude had a ton of charm. At that point, they were still backing trucks up to the outfield fence and building erector sets up there to sit on. I don't know if it was the safest place in America, but it was a really cool place, a great vibe. But obviously, they've sunk a ton of money into that new stadium, and I wanted to go see it. So I asked Matt in November during our budget discussions, like, hey, can I go to the series in Starkville? He said, sure. So I wanted to go. I wanted to see it. And I had an opportunity to go. On Friday, pulled into town. We did our show at the Cotton District at Two Brothers Smoke Meats. Had the best wings I have ever had in my entire life. Went into the ballpark, saw the games. I stayed in Columbus, about 20 miles down the road. Came back in for Saturday. Came back in and ate a great breakfast on Sunday morning at Restaurant Tyler in downtown Starkville, which is one street. And that was fantastic. But this was about the baseball to me. And I'll tell you this. There is not a fan base and there's not a program that measures up to LSU when it comes to the trips to Omaha, the national championships, the tradition, the great moments, the drama. You've got a lot of that in Baton Rouge. It's the best. And there's not anything in college baseball that measures up to Dudy Noble Field. It's the best by a mile. I was blown away at everything about that stadium. They did it beautifully. The seats in the grandstand are chair back. They're close. They're comfortable. They're spacious. It's great. They've got 2 berms, one on each side in foul territory down the line that the students come in and pack. In the outfield, they've kept some of the coziness. They've kept some of the character, but they've modernized it. You can go create your spot, bring your barbecue pit in. Every spot has a locker with a lock on it so you can leave your things there for the season and have it on site. You can walk the entire concourse 360 degrees of the stadium. There's not a single bleacher in the entire thing. It's got character. It's got class. It's got premium seating. It's got spacious seating. And then the energy of the crowd on Saturday. Now, I saw it at its best. This is Super Bulldog weekend, which is their big spring homecoming type deal. Everybody's in town. Everybody comes. They're trying to set an attendance record. It was the 3rd biggest crowd in the history of the stadium. So I saw it at its best. They hit a grand slam in the late innings to tie the game. They hit a walk-off homer in the rain on Friday. That's as good as it's going to get. And it was incredible. They've got the light show going on where they're doing flashing lights and strobe lights. They've got a Jumbotron video that they play where Kevin James comes, yells, "Start your engine," and the whole place goes nuts, and they're all dancing and ringing cowbells. I mean, it is a cauldron in that place for the opposition. It is phenomenal. And it was like that for Friday and Saturday in their entirety. The vibes ticked down a bit on Sunday. You get it. It was a big day and a big night on Saturday. Some people went home. Some people probably got a little cocktail flu going on for a Sunday afternoon. But I was blown away in that ballpark. It was phenomenal. And if you're an LSU fan, I realize this as well. Most LSU fans never go to an away sporting event. That's not an LSU thing. Most Mississippi State fans never go to an away sporting events. Most Texas A&M fans never go to an away sporting event. It's just you usually go to your home games. If you're looking to go see an SEC baseball road weekend, I cannot suggest a Starkville trip enough. I had some great food. The people were awesome. The stadium's sensational. The atmosphere is great. It's not that bad a drive, 4.5 hours from Baton Rouge. So I'm not trading LSU for anything. I'm not trading LSU's tradition, LSU's coach, LSU's success. I love the box. I'd make some tweaks to it, but I love the box. the gold standards in Starkville on the stadium front. They don't have the trophies LSU has. The stadium, they absolutely nailed that. I wanted to see it. I got to see it. It lived up to every bit of the hype and then some. At Duty No, it was really, really, really cool. And the wings were great. Two brothers. Shout out to them. I will make that trip again. We'll see when LSU goes back. The schedule's all wonky now, but Mississippi State is a permanent opponent of LSU's. If it's in 2 years, I might mosey on back because it was a really cool deal. I wish LSU would have won a baseball game, and it's a bummer that LSU's in the place that they're in. But there's a part of me that kind of nerds out, one over college baseball and two over college towns, and I just hadn't been in a college town in a while. The vibes on Friday with good weather, with a big baseball weekend on tap, with a lot of alumni coming back in a college town. This is a city with a college in it. It was a shot of life for me. I loved it. I thought it was great. I went into the weekend with low expectations on LSU's baseball team. I was not just crippled by the fact that LSU lost those 3 games. It stunk, and it feels like the June's going to be real empty around here. But it was a cool thing to see on the other side from State. And so hat tip to the good folks at Starkville. They put on a heck of a show over the weekend. That's it for hour number 1. We got a lot to do in hour number 2. We'll talk some more NFL draft, talk some more LSU baseball as well. Don't go anywhere. We'll pause for Sports Center. Come back with hour 2. It's the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. SwingEasyGCBR.com. SwingEasyGCBR.com. Become a member over at Swing Easy Golf Club. Get you some hours at the front of every month that you can use complimentary. You can entertain clients. It's a great, great way to stay attached to the game of golf with a membership to an awesome spot. It's right there on Segan at Perkins. You can come in, individual bays, high-end technology that shows you your contact with the golf ball on the club face, that shows you the trajectory of your ball on the simulator, shows you your carry number, shows you your ball speed and spin rates, all those things that you're looking for. If you're a scratch player looking to work on your game, you can do it at Swing Easy. If you're a beginner trying to pick up the game, you can do it in a private bay at Swing Easy Golf Club. Awesome, awesome spot to hang out. Awesome, awesome spot to work on your game. Looking for a cold drink? They got one right there at Swing Easy Golf Club as well. They're on Segan at Perkins. Swing Easy Golf Club, SwingEasyGCBR.com.
Bayou Ford has the new 25 Ford F-150 Lariat truck with $12,000 off MSRP, plus the 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google. Based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know this, and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. No, the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit SpineCenterLA.com.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21 months because everyone deserves a safe, secure home. Trusted, local, affordable. Pelican Roofing, making quality roofing affordable for South Louisiana families.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Nick DeLuca. The NBA playoffs roll on tonight. Pair of Game 4s for the top seeds in both conferences and a Game 5 closeout opportunity in Denver. Tempers flaring between the T-Wolves and the Nuggets in Game 4. Denver down 3-1 on the brink of elimination. Head coach David Adelman adamant that they can still flip this series.
I don't care what you write. I really don't. I know what the team feels. I know what they felt before the game. The narrative doesn't matter to me. I know the feeling of the group, and I know that there's something in us.
Timberwolves 3-0 all-time, went up 3-1. Pistons looking to even their series with the Magic 1 seed down 2-1, while the Thunder can sweep the Suns with a win tonight. OKC perfect 11-0 in first-round games under head coach Mark Dagnall. College football, Texas Tech transfer quarterback Brendan Sorsby checking in to a treatment program for gambling addiction comes after he placed thousands of online bets on a variety of sports on a gambling app, jeopardizing his eligibility. He was the #1 player in ESPN's transfer portal rankings.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Tuesday, we'll react to all the playoff action. Plus, what should we expect Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, and the Knicks to do in Game 5? It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
He needs care and treatment.
You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Is this a great country or what?
Locking down the middle of the day, live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions, online at guaranteehealth.com, guaranteehealth.com. Plenty to do here in hour number 2. If you missed any of hour number 1, you can catch it on demand wherever you find your sound. A lot of LSU baseball discussion, some LSU football, Saints draft class we touched on as well. So lots there. If you missed it in hour number 1, go catch it on demand. Just search Hunt Palmer Show wherever you find your sound. Let's move forward in hour number 2. Like, LSU baseball is not a place for moral victories, right? Like, we're not here to celebrate much of anything but other than success on the field. That's what matters with LSU baseball. It's the gold standard in the sport, and it should be covered that way, right? So I'm not here to create moral victories or to move the narrative. This is as disappointing a season as any of us can really remember with LSU baseball. And it doesn't look like there's a turnaround that's coming soon. Doesn't mean it's impossible, but it doesn't feel that way. So I want to be clear about that up front here. This team as a whole has had so many issues, and there are so many things that are going to have to be rectified in the offseason. With that being said, if you're watching, you are seeing some encouraging things from the young players. Offensively, Omar Cerna and Mason Braun were the best hitters LSU had in its lineup this weekend. I have sound from Jay Johnson and Eddie Yaman and Omar Cerna, but I can't play any of it because there's so much music in the background. And we were talking to Eddie Yaman, and so much credit to him for doing the interview. They were shooting fireworks off on Saturday night, when we were trying to do the interview. So you can't. I could use the quotes to write on LouisianaSports.net. I could not play them on the air here. It's just the sound quality is too bad. They also have some sound from Jay Johnson. There's too much background noise. But Jay Johnson said like two things about Cerna and about Braun. He said, one, they are probably the two best hitters on our team now. And I don't have a disagreement with that. We'll get into the stats that back that up. But also, he said, we just got to play the freshmen. And I don't think I've ever said that in my career. I wrote this at LouisianaSports.net, and I'm inferring this from what he said. It's not he wasn't explicit in saying it, but it sounded to me like that said, I'm doing something I've never done in my career, and that is strongly considering 2027 while in the middle of 2026. And that's why you're seeing Mason Braun play first and not Zach York. And that's why you're seeing Jack Ruckert play second base and not Braden Simpson, not Tanner Reeves. That's why you're seeing William Patrick in right field and not Daniel Harden. You're not seeing Braden Simpson, who played some outfield earlier this year. Like, you're seeing the young players play. And he's doing that. One, they're good players. And two, there's an eye on next year. He's getting that development in. Tanner Reeves ain't helping you next year. Braden Simpson ain't helping you next year. Zach York ain't helping you next year. These players can. And I thought they were brilliant over the weekend. Omar Cerna was 8 for 14 over the weekend. He had a double. He hit 2 homers. One of them was pulled to left field against Tomas Valenkis, one of the best pitchers in the Southeastern Conference. The other one came to the opposite field, a towering home run on Sunday. So he used the whole field. He drove in 6 runs on the weekend. He scored 6 runs on the weekend. He was the most impactful bat LSU had. We talked to him after the game on Sunday. He said that he's just getting a little bit more comfortable after, getting used to college pitching in the fall and early in the spring. And he's been a force. He's got prodigious power. He's now taking his walks. He's driving the ball the other way, both on the ground low and hard and for power. He was sensational over the weekend with 8 hits and 14 at-bats. Mason Braun was in the leadoff spot for LSU. He was 7 for 13, so better than a 500 average. He also drew 2 walks and was hit by a pitch. He was on base 10 times over the weekend. He scored 4 runs, drove in 2 runs, had the big triple off the top of the wall in right field, hit the ball the other way. He was awesome. And this is a guy who did enough in the preseason to be an opening day starter, but he went through an 0 for 18. He went through an awful stretch, and he's come out of it because Jay Johnson continues to give him at-bats, and he's looking like the guy that we saw in the fall, that we saw early on, that was as good a high school hitter as got to campus this year for anybody. He is a heck of a talent, and he was fantastic over the weekend. Those 2 guys were 15 out of 27. 15 out of 27 on the weekend. That's hitting 556. 556. And you're talking about Tomas Valenkis. You're talking about Duke Stone. You're talking about dudes on the mound that they went out there and swung the bat off of. That was great to see. And Cade Arambidi continues to show his power. He hit 2 home runs over the weekend, both of them to the opposite field. He's now up to 13 home runs on the season. He drove in 6 runs on the weekend, had 3 walks as well. He scored 4 times. That's really productive. And this is kind of looking like the core of next year's offense. Cerna, Braun, Arambidi. You've got 2 right-handed hitters and a left-handed hitter. You don't have elite athleticism there, and you're going to have to figure out defense because Braun's learning first base, and you've struggled a little bit at catcher between Arambidi and Cerna. But you've got some offensive guys who are looking the part as young players. And when you look at guys, it's a conversation I always have in January. Where is a player's floor and where is the ceiling? And then you line them all up, and if a lot of guys get close to that ceiling, your team performs. If a lot of guys are closer to the floor, you're in trouble. And you look at the transfers that LSU brought in, and you look at some of the returning players, you are far closer to the floor in those guys' production than you are the ceiling. But you're seeing these 3 guys get closer to their ceiling than their floor. And they've produced. They've been really good, and that's why they're at the top of the lineup right now for LSU. So you're going to have to bring in this really talented high school class that Jay Johnson has signed, get them through the draft. You're going to have to go to the transfer portal and get some athleticism for sure. You're going to have to get some defenders for sure. But if you're looking for thump, if you're looking for physical presence in the lineup, run producers, these guys profile as that on the next team. In fact, they're profiling for this team as we sit here and speak. Those guys were LSU's heart and soul over the weekend. And without Jake Brown, now Stanfield's hurt, Pearson's hurt, Dardar's hurt. Like, you are scraping at the bottom of your lineup card right now to fill out that lineup. You've got Daniel Harden pinch hitting late. You've got Eddie Yaman going to play left field, where I don't know if he's ever played that position in his life. You've got a freshman in Jack Ruckert playing second, who I thought did a nice job defensively over the weekend. He made one bad throw that pulled the first baseman off the bag. It didn't end up hurting LSU, but he was pretty good starting some double plays and made some plays at second base. But the thump in this lineup, there's a youth movement afoot, and it's encouraging for the future of the program. Because Braun and Cerna are not draft-eligible sophomores. Those are guys that will be at LSU for 3 years should they choose to stay. That's a comforting feeling to have those three guys coming back next year with the power they provide, with the slugging they provide, and what they're doing as young players. They're only going to get better. Going to go off to the summer league and play a little bit, come back in the fall, and they should be really, really promising players in 2027. They're already that right now. So Jay Johnson's made a decision. The young kids are playing. He's going to go down with that ship this year because it's probably better for you in 2027 if the young guys get a bunch of at-bats in the SEC and are ready to go next year. So that's the positive. I'm not going to sit here and completely gloss over the fact that LSU has lost 9 SEC games in a row, that they're in 15th place ahead of only Missouri, that South Carolina has passed them in league play. I'm not going to completely just throw that out. That's an important narrative here. But there is a positive. It's these young guys that are really doing a good job offensively. So that's what I saw over the weekend in Starkville, Mississippi. Let's keep on chugging along. It's a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, FabryChevrolet.com, FabryChevrolet.com. Every car that's on the lot is online at FabryChevrolet.com. So if you're looking for a new SUV, check it out online, FabryChevrolet.com. They've got your Chevy Tahoes. They've got your Chevy Suburbans. They've certainly got GMC, Denali, Yukon. If you need a new SUV for that road trip that's coming up this summer, Fabry Chevrolet is a great place to look for it. You can do it online at FabryChevrolet.com, but go by and see them in St. Francisville. Your customer service is going to be second to none there. The Fabry family has made sure of that for 35 years in this city. Now they got that new point in St. Francisville on Highway 61. Stop by and see them. It's a great buying experience, great service after the sale, and a wonderful selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Fabry Chevrolet GMC. They're online, FabryChevrolet.com, FabryChevrolet.com.
Ever wonder why cane sauce doesn't come in a pre-sealed packet? It's because it's made fresh inside every Raising Cane's every single day. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience, or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Everything you need for a stunning garden is at the Plant Barn in Baton Rouge. From trees and shrubs to plants and pottery, the Plant Barn has it all at great prices. Visit us today on Valley Street, right off Perkins Road in South Downs.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding health care forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Big shout out to my friends at Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Neil and Melissa have been running the show at Boudreaux's Electrical for 40 years. If you need a Generac home standby generator, shop with my friends at Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Go with the local company. You can get that Generac home standby generator from the big box store. But do you ever hear from them after the installation? What about monitoring the generator to make sure it's functional? What about repair job on mechanical work that needs to be done? Do you even know who to call if you shop with a big box store? Go with the family-owned local company here in South Louisiana, Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Give them a call at 985-397-1562. That's 985-397-1562. You can also call them at the Gonzales location, 225-300-9389. Generac home standby generator. You need it for storm season. Give them a call. Get that generator installed. Make sure you don't lose power this summer. Thanks to my friends at Boudreaux's Electrical Services. You know, there was so much anticipation for this LSU football season in 2025. Just so much anticipation. Number 1 portal class, top 10 preseason ranking, beat Clemson, top 5 team in the country, people's pick for the playoff. J.D. Pickell, our guy, picks LSU to win the national championship. Just a lot of respect for the amount of talent that LSU had accumulated on that roster entering the 2025 season. And I got to be honest, like 7 draft picks is good. It's a good year. But you had 3 guys picked in the first 5 rounds of the draft total. I just don't think this team was as talented as we may have thought in August. Maybe that's fair. Maybe it's not. I guess it's in the eye of the beholder. But you look at this like, yeah, Delane popped. First round pick, 6th overall. He's the only guy that LSU had go in the top 75 picks of this draft. A.J. Halsey went in the 3rd. Xavier Thomas went in the 3rd. Those are the only 3 guys that went in the first 184 selections in this draft. Bauer Sharp, Barryon Brown, and Harold Perkins all went in the 6th. And then Garrett Nussmeier went 249th in the 7th. Like Patrick Payton did not get drafted. We thought a lot of him entering the season. Jack Pyburn at that same position did not get drafted. He was a starter on this team. Aaron Anderson was not selected in the draft. Thought maybe West Weeks' time in the 40 with his size might get him drafted. He wasn't taken. Jamari Butler not taken. Chris Hilton, nobody took a flyer on him with his speed. Like, I'm not trying to hold every single year to the gold standard. The 2019 team into the 2020 draft that had 14 guys selected. Like, that's unicorn stuff. That's once a generation type stuff. But like the 2022 draft from the 2021 team that was just okay, got Ed Ogeron fired. Like, that team had 10 draft picks on it. 10. 10 guys in that team get drafted. This team only had 7. And they weren't early picks either. Aside from Delane, that's really it. And I wonder, because I talked about this with the baseball team and how nobody saw this coming. And I don't think a lot of folks saw what LSU did this year coming and getting the coach fired. And maybe we should have, because the best teams that LSU produces, quite obviously, have high-level NFL talent on them. I mean, you just go through the great LSU teams. I mentioned that 2019 team, but I mean, like, you had 5 guys go in the first round off that team. But not just that, you had 2 more in the second round with Grant Delpit, Christian Fulton. In the third round, you had Damian Lewis, Lloyd Cushenberry, and Jacob Phillips. In the first 3 rounds, that's 5, 7, 10 guys in the first 3 rounds. But I mentioned that 2021 team that had the 2022 draft. You had Stingley go in the first round, Ingram in the second round, Flott and Ty Davis Price in the third round. Now, Cade York, that's an interesting circumstance, but him and Neil Farrell in the fourth. I mean, these are not a bunch of 7th round picks. The only guy in the 7th round off that 2021 team was Andre Anthony. But at least he got drafted. Your edge guys on this team did not get drafted. You didn't have any linemen drafted. Like, that's a bit of a problem. So it's funny. I guess that's the wrong word. It's interesting just how quickly this whole thing fell apart. And there'll be discussions about this for a long, long time based on roster composition, coaching hires, effort, how to work the portal, how to allocate resources. That was a team you could just cut blank checks to and front load everything before they put the clearinghouse in place. And LSU got a lot of big names, but it didn't show up on draft day. And that's a day that's going to be indicative of what your program looks like. And if you could fast forward to next year at this time and what LSU's roster export looks like in the draft, I think you'll have a pretty good idea of how the year went. And again, 7 picks is nothing to sneeze at, but it's not elite. And that's the discussion we were having in August. We were coming back from practice reports like they got dudes at every level. Playmakers all over the place at wide receiver. Well, you had 2 of those guys get drafted, but for earliest was a 3rd round. You didn't have an offensive lineman taken. The offensive line was supposed to step up, and it just didn't work. Now, maybe if Braylon Moore comes out, he gets drafted, and you kept him on the team, and you kept Whit Weeks on the team, and those guys could have been draft picks. Had guys come back. Maybe Tamarcus Cooley gets picked if he leaves. So maybe in that way, you've lessened your draft numbers and strengthened next year's team. But this team just did not come together and create the great play that we forecasted in all August long, and then certainly after they beat Clemson. I would have thought when you brought Patrick Payton in from Florida State, with his length, with his size, with his production at Florida State, where he did have a monster year 2 years ago, I would have thought that was a draft pick. It wasn't. I'd have thought Aaron Anderson would get picked. Maybe it's the injuries. Maybe it's not. I certainly didn't have Bauer Sharp being the 3rd guy off the board. That's just not where I thought the strength of this team was going to be. And you don't have to be a draftable player to be a great college player. There are 2 different skill sets. But I think that this just lends credence to the fact that maybe we overestimated last year's football team. And the NFL rarely does that. They kind of take this player acquisition thing very seriously, and they looked at this LSU roster and went, okay, Delane's a stud. We'll take him up top. But Halsey and Thomas in the 3rd, and then you got to wait till the 6th for Bauer Sharp. Only 3 picks in the top 184 for LSU in this draft. We all thought Garrett Nussmeier, potential 1st-round pick. Somebody will take a flyer on him in the 2nd round. If you would have pinned me down on Friday and said, when's Garrett Nussmeier going to go? I would have said 3rd or 4th. He ends up going 249th, 7th. And maybe that's an injury thing. Maybe it's not a talent thing. But the injury lingered this year, so it hurts you. Just something to think about. I think we probably overshot this thing, and the NFL doesn't do that. And they think Harold Perkins is a 6th-rounder. They think Barryon Brown's a 6th-rounder. They think Garrett Nussmeier's a 7th-rounder. And the only guy that they thought was a top 75 player in this draft from LSU was Mansour Delane. He was awesome. He was a stud. He looked the part. He did his thing. Rest of the team, You're not going to win much without a single lineman drafted. You're just not. You are not going to win much if you don't have a single lineman drafted. And that's the place that LSU put itself in. So Tigers get 7 off the board. Mansour Delane in the 1st, A.J. Halsey, Xavier Thomas in the 3rd, Bauer Sharp, Barryon Brown, Harold Perkins in the 6th, and then in the 7th, Garrett Nussmeier to the Chiefs. Chugging along. Don't go anywhere. It's a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Marucci. Love telling you, my friends, over at Marucci. If you got a youngster who's just eaten up with baseball or softball, wants to practice, wants to play all the time, I've got great news for you. You can literally do that at Marucci all the time. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That batting cage is open. If you become a member, you get key card access. You can go take hacks before school, after dinner, at night, whenever. Just go over to Marucci, get some pitching done, take some hacks. You can also take a tour and see how the official bat of Major League Baseball is made. An incredible success story, an all-American success story right here in Baton Rouge. You can learn more about Marucci on their campus tours at maruccisports.com/campus-tour, or you can go check out the Hitter's House and take some hacks. It's Marucci, online at maruccisports.com.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. At Locke Meredith Sean Fagan and Associates, we know each case and client are unique, and that no 2 cases are the same. But one thing remains constant, and that is our passion to help our clients. After an accident, we know your life has changed, which is why we passionately fight to make you and your family whole. Remember, whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. We're here to serve you.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Guarantee Health Solutions brings you our Monday shows each and every week. They're online at GuaranteeHealth.com, GuaranteeHealth.com. They're guiding healthcare forward over at Guarantee Health Solutions. If you are in the healthcare space, whether that's a private practice, a hospital, urgent care, a dental office, and you have not given thought to your customer patient journey, let Guarantee Health Solution come in and put a second set of eyeballs on that. It starts with your website. Like if you haven't given thought to how accessible your website is, how many clicks to care, Guarantee Health Solutions can help you with that. If you haven't given thought to your marketing, how to get patients in the door, Guarantee Health Solutions can help you with that. If you haven't thought about the actual experience that your patients have when they walk in, from how they're greeted at the front desk to how they get back to be seen, Guarantee Health Solutions can help you out with that. If you're looking for website evaluation, SEO, some events, traditional radio and television marketing, Guarantee Health Solutions can help you with that as well. Guarantee Health Solutions are online at GuaranteeHealth.com. Guiding healthcare forward at Guarantee Health Solutions is GuaranteeHealth.com. All right, just a catch up on LSU baseball over the weekend, since I was there in Starkville and was able to speak with Jay Johnson after every game. On the injury front for LSU, with Kason Evans, he didn't feel good on Friday right before the start. Jay Johnson was adamant with us that he did not throw a baseball on Friday. I'm a little confused as to exactly what happened because he was literally on the lineup card. They had released it to the press box. We had the starting lineups. Kason Evans was listed as the starting pitcher, and then he was not. So on the way to the ballpark, he was going to be the guy. And something happened over the course of his calisthenics or whatever, where his arm did not feel good and LSU sat him down. Was told on Saturday, Jay Johnson was asked again, like, how is he? Said he was okay. I have no further update on that. I'm confident Jay Johnson will speak about it on his coach's show tonight. No idea what the future holds for Kason Evans, but obviously his health is paramount because that's a very, very talented arm. It put LSU in a terrible spot over the weekend. The weekend probably looks different if Kason Evans is able to go and you don't have to light your bullpen on fire in the first game. But that's where you were. You started Gavin Guidry, and then you started going to all your bullpen guys, and you went to Grant Fontenot, and you went to Devin Shear, and you went to Zach Cowan, and like you're just throwing the kitchen sink at him, and you didn't have a guy to eat any innings on Friday. Maybe if you have Kason Evans, you win that game on Friday because you can go to Sheeran late, and maybe because you don't have to burn the other guys, you can go to them in one of the games on Saturday or Sunday, and maybe you hold the line. Maybe you win the series. I don't know. You're playing in hypotheticals at that point. But the Evans injury was an odd one, and one that we'll have to get more updates on this week because we just didn't see him and certainly didn't talk to him. So I don't have a lot of information on that, but it's a really bad spot for LSU. Then you got the guys on offense. Both John Pearson and Chris Stanfield tweaked their hamstrings running to first base. Pearson's is worse than Stanfield's, we're told. I watched John Pearson, first of all, do it running to first base, and then I watched him walking around the dugout a little bit on Saturday and Sunday, and he's got a significant hitch in his giddy up. He's going to miss some time. Like, that just is what it is. He has tweaked that hamstring significantly, and he's going to miss some time. Stanfield looked a little bit more mobile. He's just really banged up, period. The hand is still giving him some trouble. Now he's got the hamstring issue. Those two guys are going to be day-to-day moving forward. I would expect Stanfield to be back before Pearson, but I don't know when exactly that will be. So those are the significant injuries over the weekend. Seth Dardar is still not healthy enough to play. That slide into second base, I think it was against Bethune-Cookman. I was on the call for it. I don't remember what game it was, but it looked awful. And he came back in the game briefly and then has been out for 2 weeks since. and you get the sense that it's a pretty significant pain situation that he's dealing with. So he's missed in significant time, and that's what's thrust these freshmen into action. Like they've got to play the young players, and they really don't have any other options. Like you could go to Simpson or Caraway, I guess, but that's kind of in Reeves. That's kind of the extent of what you have. And Reeves is playing third with Pearson out most of the time. They put William Patrick over there at third, and he looked very uncomfortable doing it. It's a bad spot. It's a deal where it rains, it pours. And because you have guys that have gotten injured this season, that doesn't mean you won't have guys get injured next year. But if you're going to have some massive injuries to the starting rotation and lose 4 guys out of your starting lineup, might as well do it on a team that is looking like it's going nowhere fast at this point. So that's the injury update from Starkville. Again, Jay Johnson's coaches show is tonight at 6 o'clock. You can listen to that on our sister station, Eagle 98.1, and he'll potentially update that moving forward. But without Case and Evans, you're asking your bullpen to now cover 2 entire games on the weekend with no real starter, and then Schmidt's not getting deep into games. He hasn't pitched poorly, but he's not getting deep into games. He's good for 4 or 5 innings, and then you got to cover the last 4 or 5 innings of that game in addition to games 1 and 3, and it's just a lot to ask of this bullpen that's just not in a very good spot. And I was disappointed in the bullpen's effort this weekend because they have pitched better recently. They weren't great against Ole Miss. I thought the bullpen threw the ball really, really well against Texas A&M. Marcos Paz was great in that weekend series. Santiago Garcia was awesome in that weekend series. Devin Sheeran was completely unhittable in that weekend series. You had some lefties come in and do their job. Lockenmeyer's thrown it well. He threw it well again over the weekend. Like, I thought the bullpen was rounding into form a little bit, and then they just threw up all over themselves in this game. Free bases, balls out of the middle of the plate, big home runs, just not good. And the problem is, and this is a significant problem that I was thinking about this on my drive back from Starkville last night. Like, there's not one issue on this team. It's everything. The starting pitching has not been good enough. The bullpen has been wildly inconsistent. Good weekend against A&M. Good 2 midweeks back-to-back. Atrocious against Mississippi State. Atrocious against Ole Miss. But when the bullpen and the starting pitching kind of match up and they're okay against Texas A&M, then all of a sudden your offense can't do anything against the Texas A&M staff. You're inconsistent offensively. You're inconsistent defensively. Now you've got guys playing out of position defensively, and sometimes the offense doesn't show up. It's really, really, really difficult to put yourself back in the state of mind you were in like 9 weeks ago, because LSU came out opening weekend and played good ball. And they went to Jacksonville and looked like a freaking juggernaut. And I realized that competition wasn't good, but LSU's played bad competition every Tuesday moving forward, and they don't look anything like they did in Jacksonville. And once they got home from Jacksonville, there's just not a strength on this roster. There's not one aspect of that team that you can look at and go, I can count on that today. And usually that's defense. But it hasn't been. I was hoping when things started to slip, started to slide at the end of non-conference play, into the beginning of SEC play, I was hoping that the starting pitching would be able to carry LSU. Yeah, you lost some midweek games, but that didn't involve Case and Evans. It didn't involve Cooper Moore. It didn't involve William Schmidt. If those guys are on the mound and those guys emerge like Ianson and Anderson did last year, like Holman and Jump did the year before that, like Skeens and Floyd did, you've always had guys step up. And Evans and Schmidt have not been bad this year. They just haven't been great. And that's what we're accustomed to. I thought that would be the strength. It's not. Defense clearly was not going to be a strength. Maybe the offense will be. Well, sometimes. Sometimes it goes away. And sometimes you're starting 4 freshmen in the lineup like they did all weekend. 4 guys, 4 freshmen in the lineup all weekend. It's just it's very, very difficult to put into words. I'll be candid with y'all. I am struggling to cover this team adequately with how stunning it is that a team fresh off a national title that brings back Derek Curiel and Stephen Milam and Chris Stanfield and Jake Brown and Kason Evans and Zach Cowan and Maverick Rizzi brings back all those guys who contributed on a title team. And you're the second worst team in the SEC? How is that possible? It's difficult for me to grapple with. But you watch it and you see them play and you go, yeah, that's the second worst team in the league. It's alarming how rapidly this dropped off a cliff. Now, a lot of y'all are out there. Pitchforks are out. Jay's got to make staff changes. And look, I don't believe that at all. I think you're looking at a staff that helped win a national title last year. But the one criticism that I've gotten that I just cannot get on board with that I want to address here, the one thing I've heard that makes me go, wait a second, stop right there. You want to criticize some of the talent evaluation in the portal? Sure. You want to criticize some of the development that hasn't happened with some of these guys? Sure. You want to criticize the makeup of the roster that did not prioritize defense? Sure. Like, there are legitimate talking points you can get into when discussing this team. One thing I will not entertain for a second is, oh, well, look at Jay Johnson. He got Paul Skeens, and then he got Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson. Like, okay, you can't say that. That's literally his recruiting. Literally went and got Paul Skeens and developed him. Literally went and got Cade Anderson and developed him. Literally went and got Anthony Ianson and developed him. No team has ever won a championship without great players. That's part of the deal. So you don't say, well, he's just a one-trick pony. You got these generational pitchers. No, he didn't need generational pitchers. He just got the best pitcher in the country. One out of the high school ranks that he developed, one out of the portal that he developed. So you just got to go do that again. There's another Cade Anderson out there every year in the freshman class, in the portal class. There's another guy that's going to go somewhere or it's going to come out of high school. It's going to be a top 10 pick in the draft. And at LSU, you have access to those guys. You've got to go get it done. You've got to go get someone in the mold of Liam Doyle last year for Tennessee. A transfer that comes in and is massively impactful. Where you've got to develop the next stud like Anderson. It's happening in Oxford right now. Cade Townsend, second year, sophomore, stud. Gainesville, Aiden King. Brought him in, developed him. He's a stud. Don't give me, well, Jay Johnson can only win with the third pick in the draft as a pitcher. Well, no joke. Everybody that wins championships has great players. But you just got to go get more of them. And this time around, LSU didn't get enough of them. They got to change that. It's evaluation. It's recruiting. It's money allocation. And it's making it work. This team just didn't work. It's brutal. I hate it. I'm going to be miserable in June. Miserable. But it's something that can be rectified because you can turn rosters over in a massive clip in this era in college sports. And believe me, based on the conversations we had with Jay Johnson post-game all weekend long, he's going to be out there getting dudes. He's going to be out there getting dudes. He'd rather be in Omaha doing his portal recruiting. That's a great problem to have. He won't be. He'll be hosting guys, and I would expect LSU to be very aggressive in the transfer portal and in finding the skill sets that work. You've got to find another stud pitcher, but they'll have the ability to go do it. Just a bummer we're in this position right now. They were 6-6 after 4 weeks. Now, 6-15. Got 2 games of wiggle room. Got to go 7-2. I don't think so. But if they go 7-2, I do think they're in. Just don't see it happening with this group. Chugging along here on a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions, online at GuaranteeHealth.com, GuaranteeHealth.com. We'll come back, close it out with some Take It or Leave It next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, FabryChevrolet.com, FabryChevrolet.com. Looking for a new truck? I got the spot for you. Fabry Chevrolet GMC, Highway 61 in St. Francisville, up to $11,000 off Silverados or 1.9 APR financing. Incredible deals on Chevy trucks. If you're looking for a GMC truck, Sierra's up to $13,000 off MSRP. Phenomenal deal. You can also get 0.0 APR financing on that. Looking for a new truck? Lease is up, or it's just time to get one? Go see my friends at Fairview Chevrolet GMC. They're on Highway 61 in St. Francisville, a short drive from Baton Rouge or anywhere in the surrounding areas. Phenomenal customer service from the Fairview family and a great selection of vehicles, all online at FairviewChevrolet.com.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
At Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer, we know hard work starts with the right equipment. Right now, take advantage of the powerful 3025E tractor with loader for just $297 a month, with 0% financing for 72 months. Whether you're tackling land, property, or projects, this is the tractor built to get it done. Don't wait. This offer ends April 30th, 2026. Visit sunequip.com or stop by a Sunshine location today.
Bayou Ford has the new 25 Ford F-150 Lariat truck with $12,000 off MSRP, plus the 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit louisianapropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
Every Raising Cane's chicken finger is marinated, battered by hand, and cooked to order to perfection. We don't have heat lamps, because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
All right, glad to be back in BR. Fun weekend in Starkville, Mississippi. I gave my thoughts on Duty Noble Field at the end of hour number 1 if you missed them. You can go back and check that. A lot of LSU baseball discussion today, and unfortunately, it's only got about 3 more weeks of legs to it. I got to figure out what we're doing in June. I'm a little bit better at talking about regionals, super regionals, and College World Series than I am at inventing content in June. And the thing you got to guard against in June is unloading the football clip in June.
I was trying to give you something to think of anything going on other than college baseball. I mean, NBA playoffs is pretty much over with at that point. So it's
I
nothing.
feel like, there's no doubt that LSU fans like college baseball. And I think LSU fans will watch some of the College World Series if convenient. It's not like appointment viewing, and then you'll see like who's in there from the SEC and who you might be pulling against or whatever. But I don't get the sense that there's a huge appetite for me to like break down College World Series games between Georgia Tech and UCLA. Like, I'm going to watch them. I like it. And I think the hurt, I'm going to be hurting during regional weekend because that's a weekend that LSU should be a part of. And the pain of not making it will be kind of fresh, and I might be turned off by that. By the time they get to Omaha 3 weeks later, that will have subsided, I'll be
Just
off
locked in the
that.
ball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'll be more accepting of watching College World Series. Plus, I just have great vibes from Omaha now, having been there, seeing the Tigers win 2 titles in person the last 3 years. Like, I'll see the ballpark and hear Carl Ravish's voice, and like that'll be good vibes there. Regional weekend's gonna be tough though.
Yeah, well, Hunt, you just said 2 championships in 3 years.
Yeah.
A lot of fan bases can't even say that.
No, they cannot.
Can't even say that. So it's like,
None
it
of them
could
can
be
say
worse.
that.
Literally.
Oregon State can say that. South Carolina can say that. That's about it.
About it. So, I mean, it could be worse. It could be very worse.
I've just got teams that I can't have win it.
Like
A&M, Arkansas. Those are the 2.
Okay, so would you rather Texas win over A&M?
Yeah.
Really?
They've already got. Now, I'll have to check the. Are we tied with Texas? No, eight's got more than Texas. So I gotta see how many baseball national championships Texas has.
Okay.
I'm pulling it up here. If they would tie us, then I can't really have that. But they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we're too clear of them. Don't worry about it. Plus, they won in 2005. So yeah, they can win. That's fine.
So Texas cool.
They get 7. I've got 8. That's fine. I can't have A&M getting a win.
Really?
Yeah, especially after I've trashed Michael Early so much.
Yeah, but it's also like Texas stole their coach, so it's like, I hate A&M too. I kind of like the little underdog story they got right now. Like it's a little bit like,
They're not underdogs. They got ridiculous
A&M
talent on that
underdogs,
squad.
yeah. Call it A&M underdogs.
I mean, they got Gavin Grahovic, Caden Sorrell, Jorian Wilson, their freshman right fielder.
Yeah.
He is a freak. He crushed 2 or 3 homers against LSU. I turn on my laptop while I'm at Starkville. He's hitting a 460-foot blast over the batter's eye in Gainesville, and he hosed a dude at home from right field just on a seed from right field. This dude is a problem. He's freaking good. So yeah, I need some choking out of those teams. I'm perfectly fine if UCLA wins it. I'd be great if Georgia. I'm probably pulling for Georgia Tech.
Okay.
That's harmless and they're really good. So those are my teams.
Probably fun.
Yeah. But I just love regional weekends so much, super regional weekends so much. I knew pretty early that it wasn't going to be a host situation, but the fact they're not going to make it at all is really difficult to swallow.
But 2 championships in 3 years, man.
It is good. That was good. I liked Omaha. I still have my flight booked. I'm still booked for Omaha.
Well, hey, we can move something around. Maybe get Taylor come in here, slide in.
I'm still booked.
Kick your feet up.
Got a feeling I'm going to be using that insurance that I purchased. So, all right, let's play Take It or Leave It.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, so this is a bombshell right now. So Texas Tech transfer quarterback, who was probably going to go to LSU, Brendan Sorsby, he just checked himself into a rehab facility for sports gambling. He has a sports gambling addiction.
Yep.
So Sorsby's decision to seek treatment, according to sources, came in wake of discovery of Sorsby making thousands of online bets on a variety of sports via gambling apps, of course, which would jeopardize his eligibility with Texas Tech. He bet on Indiana football while he was a redshirt freshman for the Hoosiers back in 2022. Basically only played 1 game that season. So did LSU dodge a bullet with Brendan Sorsby? Take it or leave it?
I'll take it. That is more information than I had previously. I didn't know he was betting on games where he was on the team.
Yeah, he was on the team, but he didn't bet against them to lose or whatnot. So yes,
that's a problem.
Yes,
so yeah, I would think that they're going to do some real looking into that. And you got it all in the app right there. So these kids, come on, man. Just look, we've all got things that we do, but the gambling thing,
that's just donations, man. I feel like I'm just losing money. I hate losing money. So 5-star forward Mika Moreno has committed to Arkansas. But keep this in mind. So John Calipari, with this recruit, they now have the #1 recruiting class in the country. Yeah. So was it always Coach Cal or not the allure of playing for Kentucky? Take it or leave it.
Take it. This guy got Derrick Rose to go to Memphis.
You know what? I didn't even think about that. Very true.
He got Marcus Camby to go to UMass. Yeah. I mean, this guy, he cheated like a dog to do it, but I'm all for it. That's fine by me. It's college basketball. Right. It is what it is. Right. He's gotten 2 different schools put on probation, stripped stuff from Kentucky, stripped stuff from
you put it like that,
from Memphis as well. Yeah, I mean, Cal knows how to work it. there was no doubt when Arkansas got him, they were going to get players. Now, there's no guarantee you were going to win because he wasn't winning at Kentucky.
True.
And it looked like the game had kind of passed him by, and Duke was running circles around him. Once Duke broke into the we're getting the one and dones, it was over for Cal. Because there was a time there where Duke wasn't getting those dudes.
Yeah, no.
And then they decided, okay, we're going to do it, and that's when they got Okafor, and that's when they got Zion, that's when they got all those dudes. So they broke in, and now they were but right when Cal got to Kentucky, that was when he was getting Bledsoe and Cousins and
John Wall.
Yeah, John Wall right there. He got
Brandon Knight.
Karl Anthony Towns. Yeah, Brandon Knight. Like he was getting the dudes, and then Duke kind of took that mantle from him.
Yeah, and Duke is still running with it.
Yeah,
So George Pickens reportedly said that he's still not satisfied with the contract. Well, not contract. The franchise tag he's been put on. He's given the Cowboys an ultimatum. He wants a long-term contract or he would like a trade. He still has not signed his franchise tag. So, I mean, this is like every year with Jerry Jones, man. Like, is it ever going to stop with the Cowboys? Take it or leave it.
Yeah, I'll take it. It will stop when Jerry quit. When Jerry's gone. Yeah. He won't quit when he's gone. I'll put that tactfully. Then it'll change. But like that George Pickens and the Cowboys in a contract negotiation is not going to work.
No.
That's too much volatility.
Oh, yeah.
You got the Cowboys who are nuts. You got Pickens who's nuts. Yes. You can't. That's not going to work. Another shout out, no take it or leave it, but a shout out, a cool moment for the Fitzpatricks at the Zurich in New Orleans. Of course, Matt's having an incredible run. He's in the top 5 in the world. But his younger brother, Alex, who he won with, is playing on the DP World Tour, does not have a PGA Tour card. Well, if you win a PGA Tour event, you get a 2-year exemption on the PGA Tour. So Matt carried his brother along, got that win. Now Alex can play on the PGA Tour for 2 years thanks to that win at the Zurich. So cool stuff there. That's it for us. Missed any of the show, catch it on demand. Matt's going to drive you home next on After Further Review. We're back tomorrow, same time, same place. That'll be a Tuesday edition. The Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Lifetime Roofing, lifetimeroofingla.com. Lifetimeroofingla.com is that website. Roofing, you need to be able to trust your roofer, right? You do. So if you feel like you may have an issue, just strongly suggest you get the folks at Lifetime Roofing to come on over and do that inspection for you. Maybe you need a new roof, and they'll help you with that. You need to file a claim, they'll walk you through that. If you want to pay for it in terms of retail, they can help you with financing. Maybe it's not a new roof. Maybe it's just a repair. They can do that. Maybe you need to fortify your roof with a tune-up. They can do that as well. You want to tune that roof up before storm season hits? Now's the time to get that done. And Lifetime Roofing is so proud to be able to offer a lifetime workmanship warranty on their work. It's the craftsmanship as well as the materials. So if you're looking for a lifetime warranty, looking for a local company you can trust, it's Lifetime Roofing. Find them online at lifetimeroofingla.com. It's Lifetime Roofing, online at lifetimeroofingla.com.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jam